Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to the channel. My name's Anthony. You're watching the Driver Mod, and in this video we're going to show you how to take care of the Ford Fusion two-piece Ford OEM lug nut issue. If you're familiar with a lot of Ford vehicles, you know they have these two-piece lug nut designs that over time they swell, they just become unusable at some point. So we're going to be solving that issue today. We're also going to show you how to remove the swollen lug nuts if they become swollen to a point to where you can't get a socket on there. These are 19 millimeters from the factory, but as they swell you might need to get a 19.5 millimeter socket to get these off. But even then, over time they will get to a point where you can't even get the 19.5 on there. So we're going to show you a trick and a method that we learned to get these lug nuts off, and we're going to show you what we're going to be replacing them with to prevent this issue from coming back in the future. So definitely click subscribe, like the video, help other Ford Fusion owners out. Now let's get to it. Now we're going to start off by showing you kind of like a progression of the issue here. So here we've got a lug nut. It started to swell. This one's got to a point, you can see just kind of this, how that changes. This one you can see it's even kind of, you know, loose on there because these are two-piece lug nuts. So as you can see here, this is what's underneath those alloy caps. It encases it in a cap like this, and this is the part that swells. The nut underneath, if you want to just get all the caps off and reuse these, you definitely are more than welcome to. These are an 18 millimeter underneath there. But then you can see these two, they're a little bit worse. And then this one, you can see it is definitely beyond a useful service life there. So we're going to show you how to get something like this off. If they're still in this stage, a 19.5 millimeter socket, a 19.5 millimeter socket like so will work. You just put them on there and you take them off like any other lug nut. However, these are the ones that are the problem. So we're going to show you how to get those off. So to get these off, you're going to want to actually go up to a 21 millimeter socket, because what we're going to do is we're basically going to get the socket on there at an angle, and we're going to be tightening. We're actually going to be separating the cap from the acorn nut underneath, and we're basically going to spin this cap until the head of it hits the corners of the acorn nut so many times that it literally just breaks off, and then you can get an 18 millimeter socket in there and take it off. This method is only for if they've got to a point where you can't use a socket anymore to get them off, but we're going to show you that right now. It has to be a non-impact socket because of the thinner walls, because you do run the risk of marring up the wheel. But if you don't care about that, then use an impact socket, and that's it. So again, we're going to be tightening, so righty-tighty. And you just keep going around until that thing literally eats through the metal on the outer shell. All right, so as you can see there, it literally just ate the aluminum right off. We did nick the wheel here, but whatever. And then you can just simply stick an 18 millimeter socket on there and take the acorn nut off like a normal lug nut. And bam, there it is. We can blow all that dust out, and now we can replace this lug nut with lug nuts that won't do that. So these are one-piece lug nuts. We got a link for these in the description below on Amazon. I just went with something cheap, something simple. I mean, they're just lug nuts. It's just a Ford Fusion. Don't need anything fancy or anything like that. But there's a link to these exact lug nuts on the video description below. These are M12 by 1.5. That's your thread stud size that you'll need for these lug nuts. So now we're going to get these installed. You're going to want to do this one lug at a time. Now I like to always start them by hand just to make sure that the threads are okay, and match it down. Now when you do put lug nuts on, you should always go in a star pattern. So from this one we'll go down to here, here, and then you also want to torque them in that same sequence. Refer to the ownership manual for the proper Ford torque specs, or you can probably find those on Google. But we're just going to go through real quick and get this side of the car done, and then show you what it looks like afterwards. But as you can see right there, we went with like it's pretty much a OEM replica. It's still a 19. It's chromish aluminum on the outside, just like these were when they were new. So unless you're really looking at them, you won't really be able to tell that they are aftermarket lug nuts. and they use the same size, just only this time. They are one piece, as you can see there, so they will not separate, swell, or anything like that. And just like that, we are done. So we have swapped all the lug nuts on the Ford Fusion from the OEM pain in the butt 2-piece lug nuts to a simpler 1-piece design. So we will no longer have that issue. This issue plagues all Fords basically from the early 2000s up through present day. The GT350 suffered from it. The new 2024 Mustang suffered from it. So we're gonna put these 2-piece lug nuts where they belong, in the dumpster. We've already addressed the issue on the 2024 Mustang. We've addressed the issue on the GT350, and now the Daily is getting some love. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Let me know if you felt my pain in the comments below, more specifically Ford techs. I was a Ford tech myself for over 2 years. I definitely understand the pain that these Ford 2-piece lug nuts can pose, but we're done with that here at the Driver Mod. Never have to deal with that issue again. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you on the next video.